Well, to our top story this morning, the corruption trial against former President Jacob Zuma and French company Thales back at the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, accused of corruption, racketeering and money laundering linked to the arms deal. Both Zuma and Thales pleading not guilty to those charges. The matter is being heard virtually, which we're about to understand is causing a bit of a problem. Let's go down to our reporter, Siphamandla Goge, who is following that for us. And Siphamandla, morning to you. Before proceedings get underway this morning, it seems some concerns around this court case being held virtually, according to the Mercury newspaper. What do you know about that?
Indeed, that is based on an affidavit that's been filed by former President Jacob Zuma's legal team. They want today's proceedings to be physically heard. They are vehemently opposed to them being heard virtually. Yesterday or over the weekend, the Department of Justice issued an alert that today's proceedings were going to be heard virtually, but it seems as if the former president himself, his legal team, and accused number 2 in this matter, which is French arms company Thales, they are opposed to that arrangement. They want to be physically present in court. Now, former President Jacob Zuma has filed a 25-page affidavit where he argues why these proceedings should be heard physically. He wants to be physically present. His legal team argues that by having these proceedings virtually, that is going to put him at a disadvantageous position, because they say it's not possible to consult with their client virtually. They need him closer or near them when the matter is being heard in court. And they say the issue of the video or audio link is usually reserved for pre-trial proceedings in issues of bail hearings, and also when the matter is going to be postponed. In this case, they say for a trial, it's not usual or it's not common that the trial is conducted visually. So they want the former president in court. He wants to be in court, but also he wants to testify in this application that he has brought forward of having the state lead prosecutor in the matter, Advocate Billy Downer, recusing himself. So the first order of business today will be for Judge Piet Koen to hear that application by former President Jacob Zuma, where he argues why today's proceedings should be heard physically. But all of that will be dependent on what the judge rules, because the former president is seeking a postponement in saying, well, in terms of logistics, it will not be possible to come to court physically today, so therefore postpone the matter. Let's wait for the ideal time when things would have settled down in terms of tensions that we have seen in South Africa with rampant looting over the past few weeks. And also, after that, then once we have postponed the matter, we will reconvene on an ideal date to hear the application of Billy Downer's recusal that has been brought forward by the former president himself. So today, we expect that the first order of business will be the application by former President Jacob Zuma to postpone today's proceedings, which were meant to hear that application of Billy Downer recusing himself. Last time when we were here, Advocate Dalimpofu, arguing on behalf of former President Jacob Zuma, said they want Advocate Billy Downer to recuse himself because he's compromised in this matter. He doesn't have the title to prosecute. He is biased. He wants to convict the former president at all costs. Let's listen to Advocate Dalimpofu.
I do want to place on record, my lord, is the following. It's something that we mentioned in chambers, that although we have filed an affidavit and we have agreed on exchange of times, and we'll have an answering affidavit and a reply in the normal way. We want to place on record, my lord, that it is our firm view that some of the disputes, and of course we might be pleasantly surprised when we get the answering affidavit, but that some of the disputes will require some element of oral evidence, my lord. To that extent, and as your lordship knows, just under the normal Rule 6, if the applicant foresees disputes of fact, then it would ordinarily not even be allowed to proceed by way of application. But these are sui generis type of proceedings. We will engage with our learned friends, particularly once we have received the answering affidavit. Because, as I say, my lord, it might well be that it turns out that we were wrong, but we would. Our prediction is that we're not wrong. Once we have received the answering affidavit, we will then engage with our learned friends to see how that matter might be handled without having to waste time. In other words, we don't have to want to come here on the 19th and debate that point. If possible, we'll make some kind of interim arrangement so that the 19th remains the firm date for the actual argument. So, and of course, we'll have to engage your lordship. If we cannot resolve it among ourselves, it might well mean that there'll have to be some interlocutory stage before the 19th.
All right, so Siphamandla, as we come back to you off the back of hearing from the former president's legal representative, we're going to talk about Billy Downer and that call for his recusal in a moment. So just for viewers joining us now, we've been hearing unconfirmed reports that there's a threat circulating on social media regarding judges and courts in the country. Is this in any way going to affect, at least the allegation of threats about what we're going to see today in court?
Absolutely, and I can tell you that outside the court precinct here, police are out in full force. Last time they were caught by surprise when a very small number of former President Jacob Zuma's supporters came here. But the issue of threats, it's something that has been circulating on social media. It's not something new. In fact, there is no sector, no industry in South Africa that has not been threatened following last week's rampant looting and riots of violence. Even the courts, they were at some point said to be under severe threat. And I can tell you that that is the concern that has been worrying many people, because it seems as if there is no sector or industry that has not been threatened. But of course, such threats, sometimes you'll find that we don't want to downplay them, but at times you'll find that sometimes it's just mere threats, but you don't want to be caught by surprise. Hence, the issue of security around courts will be very strictly monitored, and it will be tied to avoid whatever may happen.
All right, let's talk then a little bit, if we could, about Billy Downer now and his response to this recusal. Tell me what that's about, Sipha.
He has denied the accusations and allegations made by former President Jacob Zuma that he's compromised, he doesn't have title to prosecute. The NPA has argued that he was appointed by the Director of Public Prosecutions. He's been with the matter for a very long time. He understands this case, so therefore he is not going anywhere. Let's listen to him defending himself last time we were here, but he said his hands are tied because he needs a senior counsel to argue on his behalf, because he is directly involved in this matter. Listen to him.
We've preempted things because we've now already decided that this will be done by the exchange of papers. So all I wanted to say was that my learned friends have put on record a flavour of what is to come, and it will be duly argued. Naturally, we are busy with papers where we dispute what has been put on record, yes, both factually and in terms of conclusions to be reached. And we are busy doing that, and we'll present to the court fully.
And that will be ventilated on the 19th of July?
On the 19th of July.
Yes.
And our papers will say that, we'll dispute it, and so on. So we do not at all accept what has been said, and we'll in due course dispute it. I'm in a bit of an invidious situation because I am the target of the attack, and my counsel are not here.
Yes.
So counsel will be here on the 19th of July in order to take the matter forward.
No, I understand that, Mr. Downer. That's why I try to keep the address is important. It's important that one understands the basis for it, and I think we've been told what the basis is. But to the extent that it referred to specific factual allegations, obviously, well, presumably those are in dispute, and you will have the opportunity to deal with them.
Well, as we heard from Billy Downer, a flavour of what to come today in court. We're back to you again late in the morning once proceedings get underway. Virtually, it seems, for the moment. Siphamandla Goge, our reporter, senior reporter outside that court for us this morning.